Hello, welcome to Studio Pixel 3D Studio Max Rigging Chapter 8. In this chapter we are going to continue the controller creation with this character. We have already completed from the last spine joint and we'll move on to the clavicle. So for clavicle we'll create circle from the front viewport towards the shoulder area. Let's say over here. Fine. And from the side view make it a backward, so we can easily select that. That's it. Now what we will do, we will select the clavicle joint, animation, constraint and orient constraint, and select the controller, and we will see the joint has been aligned according to the circle's pivot point. So to fix that, move on to the rotation in the motion panel. See, there's orient constraint already been added in this bone, and under here you see the keep initial offset, what you have already used in the spine also. Switch on that, and that's it. So it's very simple, you know. Select it and rotate it, and you see that you can make that control. So you can reposition the reposition or scale the controller as you wish. It doesn't matter because it's still control the rotational movement. And after that you have to connect this with the spine hierarchy, because if we rotate the joints, you'll see it's not moving with the entire hierarchy. So select this and link this one with the last spine controller, and right now you see the upper body is moving perfectly fine. So now we'll move on to the shoulder joint, and as we are doing the FK controllers, what we'll do, create another circle and I have to just rotate it 90 degrees, fine, and we have to just align it with the align tool with this joint. Switch off the rotational axis. We need the rotational axis alignment, I mean orientation alignment local, because see, there is a very small amount of a rotation movement. See, it's slightly rotated, but my controller is not that, it's pretty straight. Even over here you see it's slightly angled towards this side downwards. I have actually created for the IK purpose, which I will show you in the other side, and but that we have to create it, because in future when I'm going to use the IKFK chain, IKFK switching system, we need that bending. So for that reason we have to make this controller a bit rotated. But now if we make that orientation constraint, what will happen actually, which actually come to the wrist mainly, it's just do it, constraint, orient constraint, this, that's nothing, we can fix it thing in the initial offset by switching on the initial offset, fine. But the problem is, if I rotate this, oops, just a minute, keep initial offset, but if I rotate it according to the Z axis, you will see it's wobbling, it's not exactly rotating on its local axis. for creating that more effectively, what we have to do, first we have to delete the orientation constraint and make this controller exactly aligned with the joint or bones. Now we'll see in the hierarchy, if we select pivot, you see that the bones pivot x-axis this way, y, z this way, and y the upwards. But in case of my controller, it's something different. It's because we have already rotated this in the in the 90 degree in y. If you move on to the world axis, you will see. So if I now just switch on the effect pivot only and then make it 0, and you will see the shape of the object, in this case is the circle, is not changed. It's just the pivot which has been changed into its initial position. So now, and even I have to rotate in the x-axis, maybe, yes. So now that's been perfectly matched, and switch off the effect pivot only, and right now just make this align with the object and with the rotation. And see, whenever I make the x-axis, it has been aligned perfectly with the joint. So right now, if I select this animation constraint and orientation constraint with this one, now we'll see we don't have to, first of all, we don't have to switch on the keep initial offset in the orientation, because it's perfectly matched, and otherwise the wobbling has been gone. This is this part is you see, if we don't mix up with this roundness, because it's not straight, that's why it will wobble from the elbow, but from the shoulder joint you will see that it's not at all wobbling. Sorry, in the local, yes, now see, it's perfectly rotating, it's not wobbling. Same thing we will do in the elbow area, and for creating that, make it a circle. Just quickly, I'm moving on, make it 90 degree rotation, and just make it positionally aligned, and then change the pivot point. See, same situation over here. So make it make it a world, make it 0, and here 90 degrees. So it's been perfectly aligned. I mean, it's the same. So effect pivot only, switch off it, select the bone, animation constraint, orient constraint, that's it. Is something wrong? It's transform, should be select animation constraint, orientation constraint. Okay, move on to the keep initial offset. That's it. Why this is showing the pivot point? It's sometimes strange things happen in Max. Okay, now it's in a middle point. Sometimes it's a pivot point come to the middle of the joint. That's very annoying thing. So right now, yes, go on to the local. Fine. Oh, sorry. It's very, I haven't aligned this one. Yes, I haven't aligned. Actually, I haven't aligned this one with the rotation. Okay, fine. Now what we'll see, select the bone, animation constraint, orient constraint, and that's it. Fine. So yes, we don't need the keep initial offset because it wasn't perfectly aligned, or I mean rotationally aligned previously. That's why the problem was happening. So right now it's perfectly done. So and now we'll see that the wobble movement wasn't there. It's perfectly rotating. So in the same way we will create the wrist joint also. Circle, rotate this thing, fine, and positionally aligned with it, not rotational. Then again I have to change the pivot, the pivot point, world, make it 0, x1 is 90, and right now we're going to align this with this, also the rotation, and select this small joint. I will not going to take any of these joint, that we have to remember. I will take this small tiny joint, it's called wrist, and that is going to orient constraint, and that's it. So now we have been created the controllers. Fine. So you have to move to the local, always do in the local, it should be local. And now just create the connection. So select this wrist and control, make it the child of this one will be child of the shoulder, and the shoulder will be child of the clavicle. So the entire hierarchy has been created, and we can check this up. Yes, that's been done. As a shoulder, that's my elbow, and that's my wrist. Yippee! Fine. So that's been done. So one side had been done. Another side I'm going to create the IK chain handle, and for that we'll be create different kind of controllers. So in this case we're going to create the we can even continue with the bone, I mean the fingers also in the same way. And in the next chapter we'll see how to create the IK IK chain in the hands, and also the swivel angle, as we have already done in the leg. So thank you very much.